Hi, TUMNAD lectures. In this video, we are going to be looking on what we call heart rate as one of the component of what we call cardiac output. In the previous videos, we looked at what we call the basics of what we call cardiac output. Now we are going to go into the detail of what we call the heart rate. If it's the very first time to watching, please make sure you like the video, comment down in the comment section, and please subscribe. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, when we talk about heart rate, in the previous video, we talked about that cardiac output is going to be what we call the product of the stroke volume and what we call heart rate. Now we are going to go into what we call the detail of what we call heart rate. Then in the next video, we shall go into what we call the detail of what we call the stroke volume. Now, first thing first, we need to first understand what is heart rate. Now, this heart rate, you're going to be having two words. You're going to be having now the heart and then rate. Rate is going to be equivalent to what we call to the time. Now, when we talk of heart rate, these are going to be the number of beats the heart can make in 1 minute. Okay, the number of beats the heart can make in 1 minute. So now the definition is going to be that the heart rate is the number of heartbeats. Is the number of heartbeats per minute. Okay, that is a simplified definition of what we call heart rate. Now, what's going to be the normal heart rate? The normal heart rate, whenever we are stressed, there's nothing stressing us. Generally, heart rate on average is going to be approximately between 60 to around 100 beats per minute. Now, the question is, who sets this kind of the sinus rhythm, which is going to be helping the heart beat for approximately 60 to 80 beats per minute? It is this guy. You know how we call this guy here, who is going to be located just on the entrance of what we call the superior vena cava? This guy is super very important. He can release action potential throughout the entire myocardium and cause the heart to contract approximately 60 to 80 or even up to 100 beats per minute. It is something which is so much beautiful. And this guy here is what we call the SA node. Okay, is what we call the SA node. He can send action potential throughout the entire myocardium, leading to the contraction, setting what we call the sinus rhythm of approximately between what we call 60 to 100 beats per minute. Now, this is going to be whenever we are stressed, but we can increase it above 100, and even also to some other extents. This kind of the heart rate can also go below what we call 60 beats per minute. Now, how do we call these technical terms whenever the heart rate becomes extensively above the normal? So now, which kind of technical terms do we use for this? If you have 100 beats per minute and above, this one is what we call tachycardia. Okay, is what we call the tachycardia. And if you have less than 60 beats per minute, this one here is what we call bradycardia. Okay, it is such another beautiful thing. Now, these are going to be super common terms in the study of what we call heart rate. What we call tachycardia for beats which are more than 100 beats per minute, and then for bradycardia for beats that are less than 60 beats per minute. Okay. Now that we have seen all that, I want us to go through what we call the factors that affect what we call heart rate. That is super very important. Okay, so let's look at what we call the factors that affect heart rate. Factors. We are looking at factors that affect heart rate. Now, what are those factors that can affect heart rate? And these factors can either increase it or it can even also lower it down. Okay? The first factor is what we call the nervous system effect. Okay? It's going to be what we call the nervous system effect. Okay, and when we talk about the nervous system effect, the nervous system can increase the heart rate and can also decrease the heart rate. Now, that portion of the nervous system that can increase heart rate is what's called the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, now we're going to be having what we call the sympathetic nervous system, and of course the sympathetic neurons are going to be releasing a molecule. Called what we call norepinephrine. Besides that, we also have what we call the adrenal medulla. Whenever sympathetic nervous system is activated, the adrenal medulla also releases a molecule which we call epinephrine. So we're also going to be having what we call epinephrine from epinephrine from adrenal medulla. Okay, so now these kind of the molecules, they can come over and then stimulate this kind of the structure which are calling the SA node, increasing its firing ability, which will increase the flow of action potentials throughout the entire myocardium, leading to what we call faster kind of the contractions. By doing that, heart rate is going to be increasing. So now sympathetic nervous system is increasing what we call heart rate. Now, we have also another branch of the nervous system which can slow down what we call the heart rate. And that one is what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. And this one is going to be by the release of what we call acetylcholine. Okay, acetylcholine by one of the most beautiful kind of the nerve which we call the vagus nerve. Now, what happens is that acetylcholine can also come down on what we call the SA node and inhibit what we call the firing ability, leading to what we call the reduction of what we call heart rate. Okay, so now that is one of the many factors of what we call or factors that affect heart rate. Okay, now the second one is going to be what we call hormones. Okay, what we call hormones. And when we talk of hormones, here we are going to be mainly focusing on what we call thyroid. We're going to be mainly focusing on what we call thyroid hormones. Okay, and even to be more specific, we are going to be referring on what we call T3 and what we call the T4 hormones. Now, what happens is that these T3 and T4 hormones, when they come over on what we call the heart muscles, they're going to be entering what we call the heart muscles, and then they're going to be stimulating what we call the genes, which leads to an increase in expression of what we call beta adrenergic receptors. And if you have an increased expression of what we call beta adrenergic receptors, and then we're going to be having now the binding sites for what we call epinephrine and what we call epinephrine. And by doing that, you're going to be increasing what we call heart rate. So now, thyroid hormone T3 and T4, they're also going to be increasing what we call heart rate. It is also such another beautiful thing. Now, another kind of the factor which can affect what we call heart rate is going to be what we call ions. And when I talk of the ions, they are so much important kind of the ions that are going to be affecting what we call heart rate. And the first one, which is so much important in increasing heart rate, is going to be what we call calcium. And the high levels of the calcium are going to be significantly increasing what we call the contractility ability, which also increases on what we call the heart rate. Okay. Another kind of the iron which can also slow down what we call heart rate whenever it becomes excessively too much is what we call the potassium ion. So whenever you have extensive too much of the potassium ions, that one can also inhibit what we call that one can also reduce what we call the heart rate. Okay, it is also such another beautiful thing. Okay, and then another kind of the factor is going to be what we call age. Now, age is also a factor which can affect heart rate. You also know that in fetus, they're going to be having high heart rate, approximately between 120, even up to 140 beats per minute. But when you come up to adults, you realize you're going to be having the heart rate which is going to be a bit lower than what we call the fetus, approximately around 70 beats per minute. And because of that, age is also going to be playing a very big factor in what we call heart rate. And of course, you have to know that females, they have a slightly higher heart rate than what we call the males. Okay, it is also such another beautiful thing. Now, another kind of the factor that is so much important is going to be what we call the drugs. Now, drugs can also affect what we call heart rate. We have those drugs which can increase heart rate, and we also have those drugs which can reduce what we call heart rate. Some drugs, like for example, calcium channel blockers, the beta blockers, these drugs significantly they lower what we call the heart rate, and even also some other drugs, like for example, adrenaline, those one can also increase what we call heart rate. So now even drugs can also affect what we call the heart rate. Another kind of the factor which can affect what we call heart rate is what we call the body temperature. Okay, is what we call the body temperature. So now whenever the temperature of the body becomes extensively too high, that one to a less extent can also affect what we call the heart rate by increasing the heart rate. Okay. Another kind of the factor which can also affect what we call heart rate is going to be stimulation of what we call chemoreceptors. Okay, what we call stimulation stimulation of what we call chemoreceptors. What do I mean by this? When you come over on what you call the aortic arch, we have three kind of the great vessels. We have the brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid artery, and even also what you call the left subclavian artery. When you come over on what you call the left common carotid artery, you're going to be having this bulbous structure which we call the carotid. Here we are going to be having some kind of chemoreceptors. Also on what we call the aortic arch, also going to be having some little bit of what we call the chemoreceptors. These receptors, they are so much sensitive to the levels of what we call the partial pressures of what we call oxygen, and even also partial pressures of what we call carbon dioxide. What happens is that whenever the levels of carbon dioxide goes extensively too high, or even the levels of oxygen goes excessively too low, these kind of the chemoreceptors are going to become activated, and they send the information via what we call coronary nerve number 10 and coronary nerve number 9. They send that information to the central nervous system, primarily in what we call the medulla oblongata. So now, stimulation of the chemoreceptors can also have an effect on what we call the heart rate. Okay? And then another kind of the factor which can also affect what we call heart rate is going to be what we call any kind of the emotions, fear, or even stress. Okay, emotions, what we call emotions, stress, and any kind of fear. These ones also, they are going to be factors which can also affect what we call heart rate. So now that briefly covers what we call heart rate. Let's just have a very quick recap of what we have just said. We said that heart rate is going to be the number of heartbeats the heart can make in 1 minute. We said that the heart rate is going to be generally about 60 to 100 beats per minute. If the beat goes beyond 100 beats per minute, that was what we call the tachycardia. And if it goes below 60 beats per minute, it's going to what we call bradycardia. And we said who sets the sinus rhythm between 60 to 100? It was this guy whom we are calling the SA node. We looked ahead and said that we have factors that can affect the heart rate. We looked at what we call the nervous system effect by what we call sympathetic nervous system, which is going to be a positive chronotropic effect by release of what we call norepinephrine, and also what we call epinephrine from what we call adrenal medulla. We also looked at what we call the parasympathetic nervous system through the release of what we call acetylcholine, which reduces what we call heart rate. So now this one is going to be decreasing heart rate, while sympathetic nervous system is going to be increasing heart rate. Okay, and then we went ahead and said that also hormones also have what we call an effect on what we call the heart rate, especially what we call the thyroid hormones like T3 and T4, by increasing what we call expression of what we call beta adrenergic receptors on what we call heart muscles. This one hormones was also increasing what we call heart rate. Okay, and then we also said also have what we call ions, like for example high level of the calcium can also increase what we call the heart rate. Okay, and also high levels of the potassium, this one can also decrease what we call the heart rate. Okay, we moved ahead and said that age is also a factor that can affect heart rate. For example, for the case of the fetus that have high heart rate compared to what we call the adults. We moved ahead and said we also have what we call drugs, for example, the calcium channel blockers, which can reduce the heart rate, and even also some other drugs, like for example, adrenaline, which can increase what we call the heart rate. We also talked that body temperature and increase in body temperature can also significantly increase what we call the heart rate. And even also what we call stimulation of the chemoreceptors on what we call the carotid sinus can also to a less extent increase in what we call the heart rate. And also anything like emotional stress or fear, this can also have a positive influence in what we call an increase in what we call heart rate. Okay, that briefly covers what we call heart rate. And if you think whatever I've talked is making sense, is adding to you or benefiting, please make sure you like the video, comment down in the comment section, and please subscribe. So now in the next video, we are going to go into the detail of what we call stroke volume. As always, TUMNAD, until we meet next time.